Hello and welcome to the Dublin Arsenal podcast. I'm your host, Jonathan Giles, as always. On the show this week, I'm joined by my seasonal guest throughout this season, Craig Smith. How are you, Craig?
How are you, mate? All good, all good.
Thanks for joining me tonight. I've got two debutants on the show tonight that have waited a long time. They've been on the bench for the best part of 8 months this season.
Rob Holding.
And I can see in both their faces that they're buzzing to come on. So it's been great to have you at the end of the season. Firstly, Matt Bourne. How are you, Matt?
How are you doing, Jonathan? You well?
Not too bad, pal. Great to have you on.
Yeah, good to be here.
You're a lifelong GOONER fan. I know it makes you sound old, but
I think most of us are lifelong GOONERs, so that'll do. That'll do. There's something wrong if we're not, you know.
Secretly Spurs fans in disguise, are we?
Oh Jesus! Don't ever.
I'm glad Eamon is on the show. He'd rip me apart.
Yeah, he certainly would. Yeah.
Eamon, are you listening out there in Cork? I think he is. The Rods and the Mockers. And also, I'm joined tonight by Jamie Heffernan, another lifelong GOONER fan. He's been waiting to get on for a few months. So welcome along, Jamie. How are you, lad?
All good, all good. All good.
Cheers for coming on, lad. So two new debutants and the regular Mr. Meltdown himself, Craig. So it should be a good show.
There's only one meltdown, and that's Ian Gunnery.
Ian, are you donating to the show again? As always, you can catch our show on YouTube, Spotify, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. Check out our sister show, Beyond the Last Man. All the past episodes are on the Dublin Arsenal YouTube channel. Martin's away in Austria this week, so we're hoping to get the show up at the weekend. So it's going to be a bit of a wait for tonight's show, but hopefully it'll be worth it. I'm sure it will. Check out our sponsor, Balon Sports Direct. Craig sported the Ireland jersey there last week, and Martin has the zip top. Pretty good gear, I have to say. So check out Balon Sports Direct. Check out our friends at justarsenal.com. Pat McLaughlin and co doing a great job there. And go to the River Bar in Dublin City Centre where you can join Matt and all the lads for the last 4 games of the season. It's been absolutely rocking, Matt, hasn't it? Throughout the season.
It's been packed. Actually, the City game, I think there must have been 300 people in. It was massive, absolutely huge. And considering the results, it was a really good atmosphere, actually, right to the end, you know.
Yeah, it's great. The nighttime game. I'm sure the Champions League nights will be extra special in the.
Really looking forward to that next season, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, it's great to be back. 7
years. To hear that music again after so long, you know.
It's starting to be brilliant, isn't it? Yeah, and the lads really deserve it as well. They've given us a great season to date, so long may it continue into next season. Yeah. Last week's stats, lads, just throw it out there. 71 views from last Thursday's show with myself, Eamon, John, and Ozzy. 5 likes, and we're up 10 new subscribers from 2,980 to 2,990. So we're hoping to reach 3,000 subscribers by the end of this season, if not over. So thanks to everyone that likes, listens, and subscribes. It's much appreciated. And I hope if you like any content added that you think would be good for the show, please leave any good or bad comments and we'll take it on board. I'd just like to start, lads. On tonight's show, we'll be reviewing last night's 3-1 home success against Chelsea and previewing the Sunday game against Newcastle United away. Before we kick into them two, just go back to Monday's the Women's Champions League semi-final second leg. Very unlucky. They gave some performance. They lost 3-2 at home to Wolfsburg women's team. Blackstenius and Beattie scored for the Gunners. Roard, Pop and Bramer got the last, I think it was 2 or 3 minutes before this ended the second half of extra time. It must come to you, Matt. Did you see any of the game?
I didn't see it, but I followed it all the way through. And my wife was asking me, "What are you looking on your phone there?" And I just kept updating. And unfortunately, they seemed very, very tired by the end of it. I think they ran out of steam for the last second half of extra time. I think they were pulling up with a fair few injuries and, you know, tight hamstrings, whatever else. But very unfortunate. It's a shame because seeing Chelsea go out the night before kind of gave you a bit of belief that, you know, Chelsea, I think, are a bit of a bogey side for the ladies anyway. and it would have been nice to play Barca in the final. I think it would have been a very nice game. But look, it is what it is. The league's not over for them either. The same as ourselves, but they've got hard work to do between now and the end of the season for sure.
Yeah, I have to say it's been a brilliant season. I think we had another ACL injury as well, third or fourth one to see. Just been so unlucky in the women's team this season. Yeah. But what a job Jonas Eideveld has done. It's absolutely superb. Craig, did you see any of yourself a full Emirates Stadium? Great to see for a women's game, first time ever. Did you see any of it? Or
I watched a good bit of it. I thought Arsenal played very well. I thought Wolfsburg were very good in the first half, but I think overall, I kind of was expecting penalties once went into extra time.
Yeah,
I'd say a lot of fans were, but I think maybe in the end, Wolfsburg just showed a little bit more experience. They have a few good players, and ultimately injuries have probably cost Arsenal. Like they've 4 or 5 of the main starters that are injured at the moment. Leah Williamson, Beth Mead, Vivian Miedema, to name 3. They're probably 3, Arsenal's best players. So it was very unlucky to lose in the last, 3 minutes before the end. But look, I'm sure Arsenal will learn from it, and hopefully next year they can go on and get into the final or maybe win the league next year. I know Matt was saying that they are in with a shout winning the league still, but I think a lot of things have to go their way for them to maybe win it. But look, the women's team, they're growing every year, and I've seen a stat there today that I think it was 10 years ago, there was 1,400 people at semi-final.
Yeah, incredible.
1,000, which is unbelievable,
Yeah, it's going from strength to strength, especially with the coverage they're getting from Sky, BT, and BBC over the last couple of seasons. Jamie, did you catch any of the match on Monday yourself?
Yeah, I did. I watched a good bit of it now, to be fair, most of it. And I actually thought that this is maybe Irish bias, but Katie McCabe, I thought with the armband was absolutely phenomenal, and she just never stops. She never ever stops.
Yeah.
Like literally, she's going and she's hitting ones, and it's just great to see.
You nearly she should be in the men's team rather than the women's team, shouldn't she?
Yeah, should have defended Zinchenko last night probably, but we'll talk about that shortly.
Yeah, Katie McCabe, are you listening? There might be a swap there for you. I'm sure, and Nanny might go into the women's team. I think he's probably better suited there for what fuck all use he does in the men's team.
Rob Holding is the haircut as well.
Yeah, I think that was Katie McCabe's hairband she gave him. That's why he played a blinder. No, actually, we're hoping to have Katie McCabe coming on the show actually in the next few weeks. Mr. Meltdown. Mr. Meltdown 2 in Gunnery has been promising this for the last 2 months. So it's a hefty donation she'll be giving in this when she comes on. Yeah, no, look, it'd be great. I think the women's team, Katie McCabe has just been brilliant. Yeah, she's going to be great for Ireland in the World Cup as well. It's just great to see the women getting the exposure that they deserve, because it's really grown in the last few seasons. I'd be one that never bothered watching it. But I'm starting to watch it more and more now. With the highlights now after Match of the Day 2 on BBC on a Sunday night, it's good. It makes you keep watching it with Match of the Day beforehand, so they do it quite well, So long may that continue, and hopefully, fingers crossed, Arsenal can get to the last day of the season and like last year and make Chelsea split for the league. I suppose on to last night's match, lads. 3-1 home win against Chelsea. 2 goals by Martin Odegaard. It was almost brilliant again. It's been brilliant all season, probably player of the season for me at this stage. And Gabriel Jesus got the third. Madueke scored midway in the second half, but the damage was done pretty much in the first half. I think we'll all agree. Completely controlled. The second half was more like a training session, really, wasn't it? Chilwell. Ramsdale save from Chilwell. I think it was 1 or 2-0 at that stage. That was a key save. But aside from that, he had very little to do. Zinchenko just switched off. Which look, when player, when you're that far in front and the game's going so slow, it kind of just one of those things. But he's really put a foot wrong this season, Zinchenko. So you kind of have to let him away with it. But I'll come to you, Matt, since it's your debut tonight. What did you make of the game last night?
Absolutely phenomenal. First half was just mind-blowing. It was, there's been some amazing performances this season overall, and I think the way they started last night and continued right through the half, they didn't stop. They were absolutely phenomenal. And it's just a shame, you look back on the last few weeks and, the way we started against Liverpool and we couldn't maintain it. The way we start against West Ham and we couldn't maintain it. But last night they just, all the way through the first half, absolutely in control. Come out to start the second half. Like you said, it was like a training session for the second half. Chelsea got back into it a little bit, but I never felt in any danger throughout the game. It was absolutely superb. All over the pitch, there was some amazing performances. I mean, credit to Kjær making his full debut last night. I thought he was excellent. I saw there was a little bit of slagging going on about him here and there, but I think he did very well considering. I mean, you look at Xhaka was phenomenal last night as well, absolutely phenomenal. Trossard did a job. I thought he deserved to be in. I think Martinelli, whereas he's been our top scorer this season, he has been brilliant. There's no doubt about it, he's been brilliant. But these players do get tired. They do get very... they presume they're going to get their game every week, and it's no harm to have someone like Trossard coming in there to make him step up his game a little bit. And it was great to see it. And I'm a great defender of Rob Holding always. I don't know why. I do it, but I think just for the likes of him, I said to my daughter after the game last night, Rob was on for 5 minutes at most. And at the end of the match, he says, "There you go, Rob Holding, man of the match. Absolutely brilliant, absolutely brilliant." But it's just great. It's just great to see. You look back in the last few weeks and what has happened, and how close we are. We're still there. I know we're still there, but you've got to believe that City. There's far too much experience. They're far too strong. They're not gonna. They're gonna beat West Ham tonight. They're gonna trash Leeds on Sunday. I think. Come the end of the season, I think our best chance could come in the last two games. They've got Brighton away, they've got Brentford away. And I think there's two teams that have just come on phenomenally. Anybody be scared of them, I was at the Brentford game at the Emirates, and we were right in the line when Tony scored, and I was convinced it was offside. Of course, it was offside. Transpired it wasn't. But I think they're so dangerous. I think they'll definitely give City a good run. But we need to win all our games. That's all we can do. And let's hope that something can happen. But we need City to lose a game and draw a game, and win all our games. And it's a very, very tough ask. But look, they've this whole season they've done us unbelievably proud. You look at the last, or since Arteta took over, we've got 8th, 5th, and probably 2nd. That's progress. We're back where we want to be. We're back in the Champions League, and if they can build on that, fantastic, absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, I have to agree with you there. What you said, Matt. Granit Xhaka, his 2 assists for both Odegaard's goal were class, weren't he? He's really come on since he's moved further up the pitch. All right, absolutely. Patrick Vieira and Cesc Fabregas. We're giving them rave reviews, weren't they, as well at the side with the thing, But it was great to see. Just after the 4-1 defeat against City, even Xhaka came out and said it. He said just to put in a strong performance like that and give fans belief that they haven't given up, and that first 34 minutes to blow a team like Chelsea, they're in a mess at the moment, but they still have such a good squad there.
Absolutely, they're capable. They're capable of turning anybody over. I know they've lost. Jesus, they're closer to the relegation zone than they are to the Champions League places. And that's unheard of. But you still look at a team like Chelsea in a game like that. I mean, honestly, I was more worried about the game last night than I am about the Newcastle game on Sunday. I don't know why. I think we've a really good shot at Newcastle. I think if they can perform like they did last night, Newcastle. Weeks ago, Villa absolutely tore Newcastle apart. Now I know Newcastle had a couple of very good results since, but I honestly believe it'll be Newcastle on Sunday.
There's an optimistic man over here. I think they.
I know. Listen, like George Michael says, you got to have faith.
I like that. Careless whisper.
Yeah, that's
No,
it.
I think we'll be gunning for them on Sunday, especially what happened last season at St James's
Yeah.
Park. Yeah, I think that's
Yeah.
motivation in itself after
Mm.
that performance. Yeah. Sorry, who was your man of the match from last night, Matt?
My man of the match, probably, God, well, excuse me, you can't really argue with Odegaard. I thought Saka was phenomenal. Like I was saying last night as well, when Odegaard and Saka play, Arsenal play. You know,
Yeah.
the two of them, when they perform properly, the whole team is lifted. And they have, over the last few games, you know, the 3 draws in a row, they haven't been at the races completely. You know,
Yeah.
like you can't criticize them. They're both phenomenal players. They've both been incredible this season. But when they're not performing to their highest level, like they were last night, the whole team suffers, you know?
Those, yeah.
And, you know, you can blame individuals like, you know, Saliba being out of the team. But even when Saliba went out of the team, I thought the level of the whole team dropped for them few games, you know, when they could have maintained it. But look, it is what it is. We're Arsenal fans. We're used to disappointment most of the time. But it's been a phenomenal season. You know, it's just a shame we couldn't put a cup run in there somewhere. Or, you know, I still think Arteta could get manager of the season, even as we are now. He's been brilliant, absolutely brilliant. He's whatever he's done with that squad, and he's got them playing together, and the vibe in the club is just phenomenal. You know, being at the matches, I think I've been to 6 or 7 matches this season, and the atmosphere at the stadium is phenomenal. It is phenomenal. I went to see, actually, a couple of weeks ago, I went to London to see Louis Dunford in concert, you know, the Angel, Not London Forever.
Yeah.
And it was like being at a match, you know, the whole arena, 3,000 people singing Tottenham get battered everywhere they go before they even started, like, you know. So it's fantastic, you know. And it's great that I think adopting a song like that for the club really lifted everybody, you know. Even Odegaard said in an interview when he hears that at the start of the game, he really feels the passion and everything else, you know. So it was a brilliant thing to do. And no, I look, it's been a brilliant season. We've had fantastic ups and very few downs, and it's just a shame there may not be anything at the end of it. But we're still there. We're still there. You have to believe. You never know. West Ham could be 2-0 up at this stage. You never know.
Yeah. As it stands, 27 minutes in, it's 0-0.
Dare I say it, West Ham are doing fairly okay.
They're holding their own, aren't they? They are,
It's 1-0 now.
Rob Holding for West Ham.
I won't hear a bad word said about him.
I have to say, if I got a hairline like Rob Holding, 50, I'll be happy. No, a massive result last night. We had to win last night to keep any hopes alive, and we did it in style. Jamie, how did you see the match last night?
Yeah, to be honest, at the start I was very nervous because my stepfather and my little brother are Chelsea fans, so I was but I thought they hadn't won in 6, was it, or 5 before, and I thought this is gonna be it now. The way we're playing, I thought I just had a bad feeling all day about it. And then the first 2 minutes, it was end to end, like it was just nuts. It was. So I was kind of, I don't know what it was. So I just thought this is going to be 3 or 4 all. Like this is going to be a mad game.
Yeah.
But then we settled down. Then after that kind of end to end for the first 2 or 3 minutes, we settled, and I thought this is more like it. And then when we got the goal, I thought we could go on. When we went 2-0 up, I thought, geez, we get 5 or 6 here. Like back at them, like make a show of them, like.
Yeah.
But I think that's what we're lacking as well. We lack that bit of bite to go and get 4 and 5 and 6. Like,
you
know, you go 3-0 up, and I'm still nervous when we're 3-0 up. Like, you're the City fan, and you're 3-0 up. You're saying, that's it. Now we're going to get 5 or 6. When you're an Arsenal fan, you're 3-0 up. You're still biting your nails.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing with City, I suppose. When City go 3-0 up, you know they're going to probably score 5 or 6. You know, if you go 3 up, you worry, you know.
When they scored, I thought, it's not going to happen again, is it?
Yeah.
I was literally sitting there kind of hiding behind the duvet, like, this is not going to happen again, like, please not. But I know we killed it off, like, even they're bringing on 100 million players off the bench, and we just maintained the game. But I thought we were brilliant last night, to be fair, and I thought obviously, I love Granit Xhaka, and I have even since that Palace moment and all, and I'll always love him. But I thought he was absolutely phenomenal last night. It was one of his best games.
Yeah.
And in the reverse fixture, wasn't he brilliant against Chelsea in Stamford Bridge?
Well, yeah. And Gabriel as well. He was on the floor more than he was up, but he kept looking up. He kept defending. So I just hope he's not missing for Sunday, because I don't know about Holden and Kiwi are together.
Oh God, that will give you nightmares. That's hope to be two hairbands on Rob Holding when he's playing against you. Who stood out for you, Jamie, in last night's match?
I think obviously Odegaard with the 2 goals, but I just give the man the match just to Xhaka. I think he didn't get the assist for the last one, did he? I don't think.
No, not a fit. I think he did get a touch though. I think,
he did. Yeah, he definitely got a touch.
Yeah, a hat-trick of assists. Yeah,
but would have been a hat-trick assist in first half. That would have been him and Trossard this season.
Yeah.
But Trossard is very good too. Actually, I have to give a mention to him. I thought he was, every time he plays, he just looks like he's been part of the team for years. Like,
so, he does. He's fitted in. Yeah,
he's been. We haven't lost when he started either.
Yeah, that's the stats I saw. Yeah,
it says something about his character as well. Like,
how he progressed as a Brighton player. Really, it shows how good they are at progressing players as well, doesn't it, Brighton?
Absolutely,
yeah. I thought that when you compare Jamie, how well Trossard's playing compared to Mudryk, I think we got the better player than Trossard, didn't we? Yeah.
Maybe not for the future, but for the now, definitely.
For the now, yeah. A Premier League proven player as well. It was a very good signing in January. It's just incredible. But like, I think that Chelsea team was, like they were saying, at full time 650 million or something. It was just incredible, and they can't even get a goal. Aubameyang got 9 touches and 6 of them were from the
kickoff. From the kickoff. Yeah,
that was a great stat. That was like Sky rubbing it in.
And it's funny because when we played them at Stamford Bridge, he came off after getting 9 touches as well.
Yeah, he lasted longer in Stamford Bridge than he did at the Emirates.
Yeah.
It was brilliant. What a wanker. I hope he has his legs broken in the next game to end his career. Roy Keane come out of retirement. I'll get him and show his skirt. Look, I take Aubameyang. I give hats off. His goal scoring record for Arsenal when he was there is just phenomenal as well. It's just unfortunate the way it ended up last.
You can't backtrack now after saying I hope he gets his legs broken next time.
I still hope Rob Holding has one good tackle in him and he breaks his leg. He goes on loan at someone before the end of the season. No, we hope Craig Smith has a meltdown and breaks his leg. Craig, what did you make of last night's game? 3-1 and Aubameyang didn't get a sniff.
Yeah, I thought we played very well. I thought especially the first half we were brilliant. I think the lads have kind of touched on most of the points now, to be honest with you. But I think the first half we blew them away. Going 3 up, and then like Chelsea were absolutely terrible. Like I didn't think Chelsea were that bad, but they were really, really bad. Like that's probably one of the worst Chelsea sides I've seen come to the Emirates. Like as you said, Johnny, 650 million. Like you think that squad cost 60 million? This goes to show you that money doesn't buy you everything. They've no cohesion. There's no kind of in that team. They're all individuals. So I don't know what they're going to do in the summer because they're just a bunch of individuals. And I'd say they're probably going to have to sell a lot of that squad because it's not whatever manager comes in, they're going to want his own players to come in for them. But this Chelsea are miles behind where we are at the moment. But enough about Chelsea. I don't like Chelsea anyways at the best of times. So,
here's the stat, Craig. Sorry, just to interrupt you. How bad Chelsea are. We've doubled the points that they have this season.
Yeah, double, yeah.
That's incredible. It's incredible. They actually finished ahead of us last season.
I don't think Chelsea are safe, to be honest with you. I think
there's 9 points. If they went down, I would. Oh God.
And the next 3 fixtures, I think, are United, Newcastle, and City, or something like that.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. You're actually, it's it is.
Would have been to spend $500 million and get relegated.
I think they're probably safe. They're probably just about safe.
Yeah,
But it's fantastic to see. It's hilarious to see.
It's brilliant.
But sorry, just after that said, I think Odegaard was smashing during the game. I think I've said it once or twice. Like, I love Odegaard, super player, but I think in the big games sometimes he is a bit quiet. So it's great to see him kind of play against a big team as such, Chelsea. Last night and kind of show people up. But he was superb throughout the whole game. He kind of dictated things. And as Matt said, I think when Odegaard plays well, Arsenal play well. And that's literally the way it is. I think Odegaard sort of reminds me of Fabregas, a few years ago. When Fabregas played well for Arsenal, we always tended to win. But if Fabregas had an off day, we tended to lose or draw a game. And it's kind of the same with Odegaard, I think, this year. But no, I think second half then, as Jamie mentioned as well, I think next year going forward, we need to kind of have that killer instinct, because there were 15 minutes in the second half when we could have went 4, 5, 6 up, as Man City probably would. We need to start doing that, because, we've seen the Liverpool game, we've seen the West Ham game, these come back to bite you. Like, I think Jamie said it's 3-0 up. He was hiding behind a duvet. I was the same. That shouldn't be the case, like
it's not rational. It's not rational as a man to hide under a duvet.
It is when you're an Arsenal fan.
I know. I was just trying to say that only women do that, watching cringy West Ham Man City 0-0 at the moment.
Like, if you're 3-0 up, you shouldn't be nervous, And I think maybe that's only short term thinking, because the kind of last 3 or 4 games that have gone on. But we have to kind of get that out of get out of the way we play. But I think we definitely need to next year maybe think about that. But I think that might improve with this year experience, and maybe getting 3 or 4 more kind of top players in. I know Matt touched on Rob Holding, but No,
I know. I understand that. I'm not. The only thing I suppose, if we're talking about Rob Holding briefly, I love his attitude. The guy's been with the club long. Just a bit shorter than that, and then he's been with us. And it's players like that, who are loyal to the club, never give out about it. And I'm sure I wouldn't give out. I was earning 50, 60 grand a week and not playing. But he came in to do a job when we needed him. And in fairness to him, he had a few good games. The same way Kiwara last night. He came in, did a great job. People were giving out about him in the Europa League when he played. So they're coming in with no first team minutes. With no experience in this side now, and you can't blame them. They're just there to do a job. And it's terrible to see that a guy be there for so long. And I think Eamon said it last week in the podcast. He was saying Rob Holding came in to do a job in 2017, and he did a brilliant job in the cup final that year. In the cup final that year was phenomenal.
And in the match,
And I'll never forget that performance. Mertesacker's first game of the season, in that cup final, and the way him and Holding played together was phenomenal. And he came in to do that kind of job with a Mertesacker. The football has changed. You've got Saliba, who was just phenomenal in France last year, one of the best central defenders in the world. You're not going to step in with no first team experience or no first team minutes and do that sort of performance, But aside from Saliba, I honestly believe the whole team dropped a level once he went out, once he got injured.
Well, I think Saliba dropping out, I think affected their players a lot psychologically. Because they know how good Saliba is, and look, they train with Saliba and Holding every day, and they probably know themselves the drop in quality. It's nothing on Holding. It's not Holding's fault,
He's not decided as that player.
Affected Ramsdale big time too. Passing out the back the last couple of games. Never see that from him.
No.
You're right there, Jamie. He looked nervy, didn't he? Knowing that, he conceded. I think we conceded about 11 or 12 goals, haven't we, since the Liverpool game?
Madness. Here we are last night. I thought was actually.
I thought he was pretty comfortable on the ball. Actually, wasn't he?
On his right foot. He was on his right foot.
My only kind of thought about that is, why wasn't it done 2 or 3 games ago? That's the only kind of thing where I'm saying, like, we know what Rob Holding can do. I just think maybe going forward, it may be a bit of inexperience from Arteta, but I don't think there's any shame in going to a back five in some games. Playing different formation against different teams, like especially against City. If you went to a back five, I know people would say, "Oh, geez, it's negative or whatever," but you can't go toe to toe with City. They're just animals, So I think maybe next year that's something that we can learn from. But I think we kind of maybe done the same last year against Spurs and Newcastle, arguably. But look, I'm sure Arteta and the team will learn from that.
Yeah, hope so.
Yeah, Kivior. He was highly thought of at Spezia. Kivior, a lot of clubs were after him. Before we got him, I heard really. I don't really watch much of the Italian league, but same Ian was saying he watched a fair bit of when he was there. And he was days. But look, the Italian league is slower, isn't it? As well, you're facing a lot more pace in the Premier League. That maybe that was a thing. Arteta was weighing up. I probably can see him maybe going on loan maybe next season. Depending on Kivior.
I don't think so.
Maybe half a season, just to get him up to. I don't think he's up to that speed, But last night he didn't look too bad. But that's when the game was won as well. You're facing a bad Chelsea team. Newcastle be a tougher team. They're physical and they're big, Newcastle. But
I don't think I'm going on loan, Johnny. I think they'll probably sell Holden in the summer. Holden,
we can't be selling Holden. I don't want to melt down. I don't want to melt down off Matt. I have you and Ian. I couldn't deal with another meltdown.
I won't melt down, honestly.
I have to say, the goal he scored last Wednesday against City. As much stick as he gets, he faced it really well, didn't he, Matt? And he deserved it, I think.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think we're linked to Mark Wehi of Crystal Palace.
Or just when he scored,
great backup.
Yeah, he's good, isn't he? Yeah,
good player to get in.
And English player as well, isn't he? So he'd be under that rule as well.
Another homegrown. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, in that. And another young player for the future as well.
See if we sign Rice next year. Is he homegrown or?
I don't know. When you mean homegrown, do you mean Irish or English?
Yeah.
His head is easily torn, I suppose, when there's money thrown in his face. Craig, who stood out for you last night?
I would say Odegaard. Obviously, I think Kiwior is very good for his Premier League debut. As Matt suggested, I think he struggled against Sporting Lisbon, but it was his first game, a knockout game abroad. So, I'm not going to give out about that. Look at Ben White's debut last year against Brentford. Where he was slaughtered by Gary Neville, and look how good he's becoming for us.
Yeah.
So
I think a lot of people are forgetting last night as well. Jorginho was fantastic.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, he was absolutely brilliant. And you wouldn't even think of him off the top of your head, but he genuinely was fantastic. But he had a point to prove there as well against Chelsea. He wanted to put on a good performance there. Same as Aubameyang, of course. Aubameyang's performance didn't turn out too well, but I think Jorginho wanted to put one up on them as well, and he was phenomenal, absolutely brilliant.
I did a picture he put on Instagram too of him standing over Enzo Fernandez on the ground.
I didn't see that,
Is that 110 million? I say he must be looking at it. I say a lot of them Chelsea players are looking at what the hell did I come here for? Modric just looks not in,
Well,
I'm sure it will come good if Pochettino's the manager. They'll be a different Chelsea, won't they? He'll trim down.
Well, he wasn't. He didn't do too well with Spurs now, did he?
I love the way.
I don't know. I think Modric has serious regrets about joining Chelsea. I know he was forced into it. The club. His club he was playing for before. Accepted the offer. Chelsea were offering ridiculous money. They were giving money to Ukraine. They were doing everything, and they signed him up to an 8-year contract or something, wasn't it?
That's nuts.
9 years.
It's nonsense. It's absolute nonsense. And I think Zinchenko was talking about him there a couple of weeks ago. He met him for the internationals, and to this day, Modric really wanted to join Arsenal, and I think he still does. So he might give him a cut price 10 million quid deal, you know, January next year or something. You know,
Rob Holland thrown in.
Yeah, there you go. Great swap. Chelsea need a defender, you know.
Just on that point there, Johnny. Just I've seen, I think it was Oliver Holt, I think he's for the Guardian or the Independent, said, you know, I wonder do Arsenal go in a bid in the summer for Mudryk. Like, I'm not even joking.
Yeah.
Chelsea need money. They need to get rid of players.
Yeah.
You know,
absolutely.
I'd actually love the club to go in and go, you know, there's 50, 60 million to see if Chelsea accept it, because they're in that sort of mess.
I don't know, Craig, would he be accepted by the fans? So, you know, he got a bad reception.
In a heartbeat he would.
You think so, yeah?
I think so. Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's not the players' fault that Chelsea paid 20 million towards the Ukrainian army. You know, it's not his fault.
Yeah. But you've got the same situation, like, you know, how a lot of Arsenal fans have a very bad feeling about Fabregas because he joined Chelsea.
Yeah,
you know? And he wanted to come back to Arsenal, as everybody knows. But you know, players will hold it, or people will hold it against him because of it. But that's the nature of the beast, unfortunately. But I think Mudryk, yes, he would be a phenomenal signing for us, like the way we play football. But where do you put him? Like, where do you put Declan Rice if he came in? You know, where do you put these players? All these players that are, you know, Casado, the Brighton player. Where do they all fit in? They're squad players. They're Riyad Mahrez's, or, you know, Jack Grealish's who play now and again. And, you know, I don't see in the team straight away. You know, you've got our strongest first team out. Who you dropping? You know, I just don't see it. I don't see it. So Mudryk mightn't want to stay on the bench, nor might Declan Rice. You know, but look,
I think we're linked with I was just seeing on Twitter there, Pedro Neto again.
Okay.
From Wolves. I think he'd be a good player, but I don't know how fit he can stay.
Yeah, that's the problem.
It's a tough call. It's only be a busy transfer window for us, but another exciting one, I feel.
We're also linked with another fella. I think he's centre half from Dublin, Jonathan Giles.
I don't think there's a contract for me that would. There's no valuation that would meet me. I couldn't.
100 million.
I couldn't sell myself.
100 million pesos.
Irish puns to you. No, I couldn't sell myself. This host spot is too lucrative at the moment. Making 5 cents on every show. That results, and it's 0-0 at half time, lads. Man City 0, West Ham 0. So the title's coming home, lads. Fabianski's doing a great job, by the way. That result leaves us with 78, and if it stays 0-0, fingers crossed, with City and West Ham, they'll have 77, but still a game in hand, but it will make it very interesting then, as that game in hand, I think, is against Brighton. Their one, so...
Yeah. You know, is that away to Brighton?
I think it's away to Brighton, yeah.
And they have to go to Brentford, and Brentford already beat them in the Etihad as well.
That's in the last game. Brentford could still be chasing Europe as well.
Yeah,
that game, you know. So
it could be very interesting. Last 2 weeks could be very interesting.
All over again.
Yes, it'd be great, wouldn't it? Be great if it went down to the last game, even. You know, I think the players
would it though? Really? I remember being at the Arsenal Aston Villa game at the Emirates. I think it was 99 maybe. And it went to the last game, and I think Tottenham had to beat United. We had to, or Tottenham had to lose to United, or beat United, and we had to beat Villa.
Yeah.
And we did our job, and I remember leaving Highbury and walking out, and you could see over, and the lads were folding up this big banner that says Premier League champions, just wrapping it up, and that was just heartbreaking last day of the season. I don't want to see that ever again.
Especially after last period, and he got the opener for Spurs that day at United.
Oh yeah.
I knew they wouldn't let us win that league, though. The score. Look where they are now, lads. Hopefully not even Europe. That's good. Look, the good times are coming back, lads. We just have to wait a bit longer.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that leaves us with 78. City as it stands with 76, not including tonight, and then Newcastle are third with 65, and that brings us on to the preview of Sunday's game. 4:40 on Sky Sports. This one, lads, away at St James's. They've had an incredible season themselves under Eddie Howe. I think they'd be one team to watch in the next 2 or 3 seasons if they if they sign well and sign clever, because they've got a good team, good core 11 there as it is. We 2-0 all, lads. On the 2nd of January, we were unlucky. Eddie and Ketty had a chance in the last minute. That was well saved by Nick Pope. That could have been a turning point as well. If we'd won that game, you never know where we'd be now. It's those little games that you start looking at where we slipped up on. But Newcastle have the best defensive record, 27 conceded this season. Eddie Howe will be up there probably for manager of the season himself.
Absolutely, yeah.
Matt, this is going to be, I think, as we said earlier on before we came on here, the motivation should be the 2-0 defeat last season after they took our Champions League spot. That really ended all our hopes.
Yeah.
I can see another tough game. How do you see it going yourself?
Yeah, same as. I mean, we've achieved, we want to achieve more this year. We want to be champions, of course. But our initial was Champions League. We wanted Champions League this year. We've got it. And I honestly believe we're going to beat Newcastle. I don't know why. They're a very strong squad. I think they've done phenomenal work. They haven't. I think what was it you said earlier, Jonathan? They've bought smart.
Yeah.
So far, they bought very, very clever so far. And I think you come to summer now when all the big bucks start kicking in. I think as good as Eddie Howe is, I think Newcastle will be the owners will be the kind of people who want to bring in a bigger manager as well. So that can change the dynamic too. But as it stands now, they're absolutely brilliant this year, absolutely brilliant. But I think if we can play the same way as we played in the first half and maintain that to a certain extent, I think we'll beat them on Sunday. I really do. It'll be tight. It could be 1-0, 2-1 kind of thing. We'll probably concede. I'm sure Ramsdale will put out a pass after about 19 seconds and somebody will pick it up and put it in. I'm fairly confident for Sunday, I got to say. I think they learned their lesson in that way. They've got what they wanted to achieve this year. They've got Champions League. And we all should be very fucking happy about it because we waited long enough, And
sure one of those motivational things Arteta will do, Matt. He'll show them that full 90 minutes of that 2-0 defeat, and I'm sure that will be, filled. Yeah.
There could be a light bulb out in the dressing room as well or something,
You could hear it actually from Granite Xhaka lads last night, couldn't you, in the interview after the match? He says that's the motivation that the players have on Sunday for revenge.
They destroyed us. They destroyed us. That's the word he used.
They battered us, didn't they?
They did. Yeah, no.
It looked like Newcastle wanted us. They were chasing the Champions League spot. How do you see it going, Jamie? Yourself on Sunday?
I'm the same as Matt. I'm confident. I don't know what it is, but like I said yesterday, I was shitting it today. Coming up to Sunday, I think Newcastle play when they're at home, which suits us. That'll suit us. Like, they're not going to sit back the way they did at the Emirates. Not a hope will they do that. Well, I hope they don't anyway. If they sit back, I don't know what it is. Away from home, we've been absolutely brilliant this year as well, and we can see less away as well, which is always a good sign, a positive. But I'm the same as well. I'm confident going into Sunday. I feel maybe 2-0 or 2-1.
Who do you fear, Matt? You might be asking, of Newcastle, who do you fear the most?
Who do I fear?
Yeah, Willock. Yeah.
Listen, they're very, very solid all over. I think Joe Willock's done an amazing job considering. He's absolutely been phenomenal. They've got the best defense. They've got the best defense in the league for a reason. Obviously, their goalkeeper is absolutely phenomenal. He's done an amazing job this year. I don't know. For whatever reason, I just honestly believe we are going to beat them on Sunday. I just don't have any fear about it. Like I said, I had more fear last night playing Chelsea, who are, fighting for their lives in the Premier League at the moment. As such, obviously, what is it? Isaac has been brilliant since he came in. We were looking at him for a while.
Weird, actually,
we were, and he's been banging in the goals too. But listen, look, we just gotta, if we can play like we played for the first half last night, we'll do a job on them. Absolutely, no fear.
And Maximum is out as well, isn't he?
I think he might be. Yeah,
Yeah, he's
yeah.
still
I'm
out.
really
Yeah.
sure he's injured.
Actually,
Yeah.
their record against the top teams as well hasn't been great. Yeah, I think they've nearly either drawn or been beaten actually
Yeah.
against the top. I just looking through some of the results, they haven't beat many of the top 5, 6. So yeah, they've got Nick Pope though. Him and Ramsdale are actually the best 2 keepers in the league. So yeah, it should be a good matchup there as well. 2 English keepers. Yeah, yeah, it's only be a fascinating game. I think they're 2 solid 11s coming together. You know, so it should be a great fight. Yeah, and look, when Newcastle all but sealed. They've all but sealed their Champions League spot. You never know, you know. You know, I'm sure they'd only give it a go at home. It's electric there at St. James, but you never know, yeah. Craig, how do you see it going Sunday yourself, pal?
Yeah, it's going to be a tough game. I think, you know, Newcastle are very good at home, and the atmosphere is always good up there, you know. We struggled there last year, you know. They absolutely
battered us
last year. We didn't get near them, you know. I think that was kind of where the Champions League dream ended last year there in Spurs, so we kind of owed them one. I think, like Matt was saying, I'm quietly confident. I think we can definitely win the game. I think a lot of it depends, you know, with what kind of tactics or what kind of team he plays. I think if, you know, we go to Kyrgios and Gabriel again, I'd be happy enough with that. I'd probably like to see Jorginho start again. I think he played really well in Chelsea yesterday, so I think you know, that type of game, I think he can control the tempo of the game, you know, and dictate it. Partey's been kind of off form the last few games, and I think he's been maybe carrying a knock. So I think if he goes to the right team, we can definitely beat them. Prediction-wise, I'll probably go 1-0 to us. I think we might just sneak it. You know, we're chasing City now, so I think we need to win every game. If we don't, you know, there won't be any sort of title race. So we just keep going. And but look, it's going to be really tough. They're going to press us. You know, they press real hard. You know, we can't have any mistakes to back. You know, Rob Holden has to play very well and not make wayward passes. I think last year they did the exact same, and we kind of struggled playing out from the back. So it'll be interesting to see if they're going to play out from the back, or will they go a bit longer this time.
What was your prediction again, Craig?
1-0 to us.
Oh Lord, Jamie, your prediction for Sunday?
2-1. Us.
I liked the way you left that open there.
Do you know what? I think he could rest Saka. I really do.
So,
he looked very, very tired last night.
Yeah, he did, didn't he, when he came off? Yeah.
Yeah, he looked very, very. Even the last couple of games, you can see it. And we're gonna have to get someone onto that, like a replacement for him next season with Champions League football as well. You're gonna have to definitely get someone in because his bollocks, like, and he's fairness, how many games has he played? He's played in probably the majority of games this season as well. Like, but I think could rest him and use him late on.
I think Eddie Nketiah could do a bit of damage there on Sunday if he started Eddie. Because he done well against him in January, didn't he? You know, he had his chances in January.
I think Reece deserves a start as well. I think Nelson.
Yeah, Reece,
definitely.
But the only thing is, what you see a lot is you see Martinelli going over to that side as well.
Yeah.
So if you get Martinelli and Trossard on to rest them, maybe. But I think with 4 games left, I don't think they're going to rest them.
No.
You know, I think at this stage, with 4 games left in the season, why would you rest your best player? You know, one of the best players you have. You know. Especially against Newcastle, I think he'll put him back in again. Yeah, I think he should be rested. I think he should have been rested about 3 games ago.
Should have been rested Southampton probably.
Yeah. But he came in last night and he did a phenomenal job. But him and Odegaard together, when they play well, that's a massive difference for.
He's a lot better with Ben White as well. Did you ever notice if Tommy Ashley was playing and White knows that little pass inside where he
And White will always give him an option as well. White will always give him an option outside as well, you know. So if Saka can't make it through, you'll always see Boyd running forward as well, which is
He's
brilliant.
an animal fitness-wise as well, Ben White.
Yeah,
Yeah, he could nearly be a winger as well, couldn't he? Like he
Yeah.
can play anywhere, can't he?
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
he's great with the ball at his feet as well. He's very confident as well coming out with the ball.
And
Yeah,
he doesn't even
Yeah.
like football.
yeah.
Yeah.
He wanted to be a gardener instead. Of
Yeah. I don't think a gardener pays 100 grand a week now. Let's be honest.
I tell you, he's doing a great job in the Emirates pitch. It's top notch.
Yeah.
You know, what a man, player and gardener. Yeah, it's incredible. He doesn't even watch football. You know, like how can you not? I suppose when you're an Arsenal, if you're an Arsenal fan, how do we watch him? And he's playing for them. Yeah, I can see. Matt, score prediction wise.
2-1 or 3-1 to us, obviously.
Oh.
Yeah. Rob Holden with a hat trick.
We're already course.
No, I think 2 or 3. I thought Jesus had scored twice last night. I was convinced of it.
I
But
think he had something on Sunday to you, Jesus. There's something about him. You know, he's ready to go again, isn't he? He's got that. Hunger.
yeah, he is, and he's only back. Like, you know, he had a bad injury. You know,
Yeah, you have to remember.
and he has struggled a bit coming back, but you can see it in him. You know, early on in the season, you could see it. He wasn't scoring goals, but he was making so much happen earlier on the season. And then obviously he got his injury, and he's come back. You know, he's playing in a different side. You know, he's playing a much different side to who he was last year with City, and you know, for the last 5 years with City. You know, so I think, you know, look, if you look at the top strikers in the country, you want Jesus in your side every time. You know,
I still think City are mad getting rid of him. You know, he's just he's just a great player to have. You know, when he can't even get into the City side, it shows. Like,
no, that's it. And in fairness, his replacement at City hasn't been great. You know.
No, he hasn't. No, he hasn't really. 50 goals is very poor return.
Yeah, bad return.
Like himself got 2 goals when he was there at City. You know, and got his legs broken as well. Like, he's getting a bad raw deal. I have to say one shout out, lads, from last night's game in particular. Jorginho, I thought he played really well. Didn't he? Yeah, against his old team. He had a point. I think he wanted a point to prove there as well that he still has. Yeah, I think anytime he's been asked, he's called on since January. He's been really good 8 out of 10 performance. You know. Yeah. And I think he'll still be important in the last 4 games. They're still a place because Partey's looking a bit tired as well, isn't he?
It was right to drop Partey. I thought Partey's.
Yeah, I think that was a good move, wasn't it? Yeah.
I think he lost a bit of confidence after that ball he gave away. It was against West Ham.
Yeah.
I think he, you know,
and Southampton as well.
Yeah. Just stupidness, you know.
Yeah.
You see that a lot going on across the pitch sometimes. Just stupid decisions like Ramsdale with the short passes out and Partey with trying to flick it over the player right outside the box and all. You know, it's
stupid, isn't it?
It is stupid. You know.
But I suppose that's what you get when you're playing. You know, you're playing with so much confidence and you're winning games. You kind of just lose that, don't you? Just stupidness, Like, we're only 2 wins off what we done in the Invincible season, lads. We won 26 that year. We've won 24 at the moment, so just incredible, isn't it?
It is incredible.
We could finish on 90 points, which in other years would have won the league. So we're all going for. I'll probably go. God, I was right with 3-1 last night. I'll go with 2-1 on Sunday.
2-2.
I leave that open in brackets. I think Newcastle will give us a game though. But look, Sky Sports done an hour and a half coverage last night, and it done as well. And there's another hour and a half coverage before the game. So I go with 2-1 on this one. No, I'm confident that we'll get revenge for last year. Yeah. Anything else, lads? Ticket wise, Arsenal wise, you'd like mention before we wrap up tonight?
No, I think we're good. I think so.
Looking at the league table as it stands here on the telly, it looks good that we're still top.
Yeah.
It does, yeah.
Just another half to go. But I tell you what, West Ham are defending absolutely. Fabianski hasn't had a tap to do.
Yeah, he hasn't. No. I have to say, Bonner and Kerr, the 2 centre halves are brilliant for West Ham at the moment in this match.
Yeah, until Haaland gets a
young Johnny Jones is.
Yeah.
I had that about me. Yeah, I could see things about me and Haaland when I was younger. I had that the flowing blonde hair I had in my own, cut it off. God knows where I'd be now.
Hallam.
Johnny Halland used to call me. I was wondering who's that. I know Craig's looking for money for masseuse. You had Stephanie Roach today, Craig.
I did indeed, yeah. Did indeed. Lovely one.
Where was that? I was in Seafield down here in Wexford. I was in Seafield Wednesday night for the missus' birthday, and she was there as well.
Was she?
Yeah, she was in there as well. Yeah.
She's getting 2 masseuses
Getting
in a week. we only smile when we're winning, as he said. I was wondering why she was banging in the goals. Ian's Craig's magic touch. Before as well, lads, just before we wrap up, don't know, have you checked out the ZENITH coins, the clock end coin that Martin stuck up?
Saw that actually, yeah.
I got one of them there myself. It came in the post last week. I have to say, really good momentum to have, lads. If you're interested, really anything with the clock end is iconic, isn't it? And I know with the Ashburton lads, they went out on 30 minutes or something last night.
Yeah, there was something going on there. I don't know what happened there.
What's their getting stick off our own, are they? Is that what they do?
They're not getting enough support from the club. Yeah, that's what they said.
Right.
They've got 8,000 from fans, from other fans donating money for tifos and stuff like that, and they just said they want support from the club and they don't want to be looked after. The way they've been treated by the police and stuff going into the stadium. They said we're not football hooligans. We're just loyal supporters.
Yeah, it's a bit unfair, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because they've really added something to the ground, haven't they?
Definitely.
Even the atmosphere coming to the ground. You see the videos up on, coming out from the Tollington direction there. It's just the smoke bombs, and it looks phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal,
Fantastic.
And the players see that too.
They do, yeah. And it riles up the opposition as well, yeah. What pub do you go to, Matt, before the Arsenal games, you want me asking?
Generally the Arsenal Tavern or the King's. Me aiming down in the King's Head. He likes the King's Head.
Yeah, he likes the sticky carpets.
Yeah. No, generally around there. I've never been down to Tollington, funny enough. Generally the Arsenal Tavern or the
Tavern
King's
is good, isn't it? It's a good spot. Tavern's a good spot.
Yeah, it is. Absolutely great atmosphere after a game. Really, really good. Yeah.
Where is the Tavern, lads? I've never actually been. I don't know.
It's right at the end of Avenel Road, isn't it?
Yeah, it's beside the King's Head, Johnny. It's kind of
right in the corner
from 12 pin side, the opposite end.
Yeah, the opposite end. Now, okay, right, yeah. Oh, it's 1-0 City. Fuck them. So that's the league over. I knew we should have cut off here. That wouldn't have went. I'd just like to say before we wrap up, check out our show on the Dublin Arsenal YouTube channel as always. Spotify, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. Beyond the Last Man for Martin Stumbles one. Balon Sports Direct. Thanks to them for sponsoring us. JustArsenal.com. Pat McLaughlin. Thanks for giving us some publicity as well on your page. Much appreciated. And the River Bar as well. Thanks to my two debutants, Matt Bourne and Jamie Heffernan. Thanks, lads. I hope you enjoyed it.
Cheers. Thanks, Mel.
Very solid debut, I have to say.
Thanks.
Real pros. And I'd like to thank, as always, Mr. Monsieur there, Craig Smith. Well done. I'll be needing a rub down come May the 28th, so I know where to go.
Well, I haven't booked for.
Nobody needing your fucking rub down soon. I'll see you.
Yeah, no, it's look, you never know. There's still 40 minutes, so it could end up 5 or 6 then. Hannah hasn't even got his hat trick yet. This show will be up hopefully Saturday or Sunday. I know Martin's away in Vienna, so hopefully we get this up soon. But until next Monday, the 8th of May, where we'll be reviewing, hopefully, fingers crossed, an away victory in Newcastle. Thanks for listening. Like, subscribe, comment. Cheers, lads. See you next week.